We are back and recording.
We're what?
We're back and recording.
What does that mean?
Fuck, I don't know, man. It's only been like what? It's been, I think, 6 months.
It's been a while.
No, it's been no longer.
Since we moved into
like
the
8 months.
house,
Yeah, 8 months. That's crazy.
Well, why did it take so long?
Fuck, we've been trying to figure it out, man. Fuck.
It did take a minute.
Yeah. You want to remind everybody kind of before we jump into this is just a quick welcome back video where we've been, just a lot of updates on us figuring it out, but you want to kind of go through a little bit of, obviously we got a new setup and why we have a new setup, but before we do that, jump into who we are, what this podcast is, just a reminder to everybody, because we're not like million bajillionaires showing you how to go through life the right way.
No, so I'm Victoria. That's David.
What up?
And this is our podcast, Figuring It Out, and we started it with the goal to basically just talk about us figuring life out. Obviously, by no means like giving anybody explicit life advice on what to do, what not to do.
Nope.
But just showing you guys a little bit of an inside experience of us figuring things out as we've kind of been going along with life, right?
Yeah.
So we took a little break. Can I answer that already?
Yeah, just go through it. It's all good.
So we took a little break because, long break, longer than intended. After we ended up buying a house, I think we ended a podcast with that.
Yeah, well, we were in the process of buying a house.
Yeah.
And I think that we were a little, we were underestimating not the process, but the attention that it was going to take.
Yeah. So basically, we bought the house, hence the new setup. We are in one of the rooms of that new house. And in between, there was just a lot of things we just had to go through. In terms of more recently, a whole house electrical rewire, which set us back because we couldn't have all of this stuff connected, because we would have literally blown our house up.
Yeah, it was like one thing after another. It was like we bought the house. We didn't, it was one of those like almost too good to be true stories. We got the house, and my uncle, who was our realtor, was like, this is like the smoothest house purchase you've ever done, because we're very organized. We're very on top of all of our finances, obviously, like in our business tax returns. And so we got the house, and my uncle was like, I'm kind of jealous because like this went like too smooth. And then come to find out, we'll skip all the details of what happened in the process because it's another story for another time. But the rewire and the electrical in our home was much worse than what was passed in inspection. And so it got to the point where with the advice of our electrical contractor friends, they were like, do not plug a bunch of shit in. Yeah. And it ended up, when we actually went to go rewire the house, we took precautions as it was. We didn't plug in certain appliances. We didn't use certain things. We didn't have a computer running and our podcast setup going and the microwave running and the fridge and the oven. So we were very weary of that. But it ended up being like, once they opened up the walls, looked at our electrical, they're like, dude, if you would have done that, you definitely would have been in danger of either setting your house on fire or like possibly worse.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So although during the whole process we were like bummed because we just wanted to get back to like doing the podcast, we literally like are glad we didn't, as eager as we were to get back into it, because had we have done that, who knows what kind of nightmare we would have been facing. And thus having to figure out at that point in time. Yeah,
I think it was also like, because those are also like being real and honest with ourselves. There are excuses on why we couldn't do the podcast. Like, could we have taken the podcast somewhere else and done it? Probably, but it was one of those like the amount of time and attention and where we were at. Like, we basically, out of the 8 months we've lived here, 3 months out of that time, we actually haven't even been able to like live in the house.
Right.
Like most of the time, it's either like holes in the wall, repainting, retexturing, re-drywalling, rewiring. Like our kitchen's still not even done yet. Like there's just so much stuff that goes into it, along with a lot of business things that we're working on. And so, now we are able to like really enjoy our house and get back to this stuff.
Yeah, because escrow closed and everything, we were technically able to move in April, like I think it was like Easter weekend in April. But like David said, we were retexturing and repainting as soon as we like got keys to the house. So we weren't able to move in probably till like a few weeks after, right? And it was like crunch time because then we like planned David's 25th birthday party, and then housewarming parties like back to back. And then come May, and then we ended up finding out I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So that was at the end of May, Memorial Day. So that was like literally almost like a little over a month after, settling into the house. And so it's been fun.
It's been absolutely nuts.
But yeah, I mean, we're glad to be back. We're excited. So much has happened. We're like, I don't know.
A lot of good learning experiences, good lessons that we'll be able to bring because of the shit that we got drugged through. So, and we have some really cool projects that are on the way in the future, which we're really excited to bring out to everybody, and really get working on, dig our feet in, and work harder on those projects. So, we're super, super stoked.
Yeah, so we're excited to get back into it. Like I said, I am. Today I'm actually like 6 months pregnant. So throughout this whole time, it's just been figuring life out and figuring out just kind of a little bit of everything, and it's been a ride.
Yeah, that's like the best way to put it.
Yeah. So,
what's new with the business? Let's just jump into it. So we'll go. So now we got what's new with the life. We got the house. We got the baby on the way. She's 6 months pregnant. Mom got a new car. That has been super sick. I learned how to drive stick shift today.
Learning.
So
it's a work in progress.
Come on, I did install the car once.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, look, guys. I took it for a drive for like 10 minutes, and I did install it until I had to pull it into my mom's driveway. And going up the curb, it was like, trying to give it enough gas with the clutch where it doesn't stall out.
Yeah.
But in all reality, I did install it when I was driving it on the street.
Okay.
Come on.
I'll give you that.
Gave me that.
I'll give you that. You're right.
I'm not saying that it was smooth, but did install it. We got a new car. Super good deal. We weren't expecting on getting a new car, but it wasn't in our plans really, but we just couldn't pass it up, especially with the baby on the way. It was more like, okay, that kind of makes sense, and we look at things very meticulously if things make sense and not just emotional. So this was a very logical purchase. I didn't purchase my dream car, my Yukon AT4, all souped out. Not there yet, but that's what I'm saying. This is a very logical purchase for the time being. Yep, soon. We both have our cars that we want, but it's just not happening. We have other things in the works that are going to require a lot more money than a price of a car. So
yeah. So as far as the business goes, oh man.
Well, what about life though? You've been killing it in your job, what you're doing.
So that's what I'm saying. That's part of a business, right? So
I guess we can jump into business.
Two things. So one, I don't even know if I can say this. I think I can. I'm technically legally licensed in the state of California.
You have been for you're almost a year now almost.
Yeah. No, March. The end of March will be a year.
Okay, so you're 8 months, yeah.
Yeah. So licensed in the state of California, basically in all things kind of financial education. So starting to grow a team, hopefully build an agency here. That is my end goal in Ventura County.
Well, how many? You have a couple of licensed agents under you already, I think. So
they're actually in the process.
You got 3 on the way. You got 1 already. 3 on the way.
One licensed already, and I have a few on the way. The goal is to just blow it up and just put out as much financial education. That's always been mine and David's thing, was always just putting people on game. Whatever we learn, we want to always disperse that information.
That's kind of the whole part. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Exactly. So that's the goal of this business that I'm doing, because obviously there's a massive need for it. Just after doing one of those finance podcasts that we did early on, and the amount of questions we received, I was like, dude, this is perfect. So that's what I'm working on. And the goal for that is when the baby comes, obviously I have to take time back away from the gym, not be super there all the time, because I'm not going to bring the baby with me to the gym and work at the same time.
For sure.
So this would be basically my source of income, bringing into our family. Mm-hmm. And then the goal for the business is, that's expanding. So with that.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, I think one thing that you always shy away from bringing up because I know you like this is one of her faults, and I shouldn't say faults, weaknesses. She doesn't like to toot her own horn, so she doesn't like to talk about the things that she does, which is awesome. So being licensed financially is not like, oh cool, Victoria knows how to like budget, or like, you know, what she primarily does is help people get out of debt, pick and choose retirement savings plans, like estate and will trust planning, debt consolidation. So like that's what she does, and her goal is, because I'll say this because you won't, because I know you don't like to like talk about yourself, is basically help low income families who are, because we're predominantly like a Hispanic low income. Actually, I just learned a Mexican low income. I learned that Hispanic is Spanish.
Yes.
Mexican is from Mexico. Yes. And then like Latino is like from Latin America.
Correct.
I got schooled by one of the members of the gym for that.
Yeah.
So helping like Mexican low income, like Mexican households in our area who grew up and like learned, don't use a credit card, or like stack all your cash, or like we have friends and whoever that Victoria's worked with. I don't know who they are and how much debt they're in, because legally that's only Victoria's line of work. I am no way, shape, or involved in the business. Like I'm not licensed, so I don't help people with these types of things. Is like there's a lot of people out there where like they're a crap ton in debt, and they have no one to go to. They don't want to talk to their parents about it. They don't want to talk to their significant other about it. They want to talk to your friends about it. And so that's what Victoria does, is like, what, I don't know how many people you helped out, already 20, 30 people at least?
Yeah, there's a variety of cases. It's not like one size fits all. Like it's super custom. It's kind of like a training program or a nutrition program. Like everybody's like financial goals is totally different, and everybody's current financial standing is like totally different. And so it's literally like my purpose is to come in as a third party, like non-emotionally, and just look at your shit
and be like, you're fucked up. Like you're fucked up, or like, wow, you're doing great. Why aren't you doing something with your money?
Yeah, and it's out of like it's like super out of a like a non-judgmental perspective, you know, because in my head, like I love this whole like idea of work because I love solving for X. Like algebra was always my biggest thing, like figuring out like a puzzle piece. I majored in psychology because I couldn't major in math because I couldn't do the science portion.
Yeah, which makes no sense. It's like, yeah, get a math degree, but you have to pass physics 3. It's like, what?
So couldn't do that, but went all the way to Calc 3 because I loved like being able to solve for something. And the psychology aspect was because I wanted to be able to help people. So this was like the perfect blend of the two, because I do it for free.
Yeah.
So there's no cost to like for me just to kind of look over somebody's finances or look over like anybody and just give them some education about it. So it was my way of like helping others and solving a puzzle, and then just like doing it for free and being able to provide and just help people better the situation that they're currently in, and trying to help them navigate and figure things out for themselves, which is, you know, which is our main purpose and what we've always like valued in our community, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're all community driven. We just realized very quickly, like doing the podcast and talking to all these younger people at the gym, it was like, dude, they don't have financial education in school anymore. And like most of our friends, it's like, oh, well, like, oh, you know, what's your credit? And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, well, how many credit cards do you have open? Or, you know, what's your credit? And they're like, none. It's like, what? Like no one taught you this?
Yeah,
so just things like that.
Or some people have credit cards and they're like, pretty maxed out, you know, because they never learned, and they basically like are getting their check to pay for their credit cards and using their credit cards to pay for their expenses. And it's like this revolving door of like, they're never getting out of debt. They're just getting more and more and more into debt. And then they don't know how to pay the debt off, right? So it's just a lot of different, like a variety of situations that I have seen so far that I'm just like, dang, if this is just in like the not even handful, if this is just in like, let's just say the 50 people that I've talked to so far, times that by the population of Oxnard, Wainimi, Camarillo, you know, and it just expanded. So yeah,
that's what she does in a nutshell, because she doesn't like to toot her own horn. And she helped my mom like with a plan. She's helped my brother. She's helped a bunch of our friends with this. Like it doesn't matter really what age. You can be 18, or like my mom can be 65 and she can help you out. But she's not allowed to post it. There's a lot of regulations on it on social media and certain things, because of the fact that it's very helpful and it's not government like taxed. And so because of that, a lot of times there's a lot of scrutiny on it because the government doesn't want you to win. There's a bunch of books you can read on it and why you can't post about it and things like that, because they don't want you to know about things that are going to help you.
Right.
Which is pretty fucking common in our government nowadays.
The easiest way, what I tell people is that if you're interested, just basically
shoot you a DM.
Hit me up, because then from there we can be able to sit down and set it up, and then I'll be able to explain a little bit more. That's obviously more in line with compliance, because again, I'm not
can't talk about it here.
Can't advertise it too much.
Yeah. Cool. So so you're doing amazing. We got the house, and the house is finally almost situated, and then you're rocking and rolling with your finance stuff, which is fantastic. It's really cool from my perspective, looking outside in, seeing you like getting home and like you have, I got 4 meetings right now, I got 5 meetings right now, or I just helped this person with this. I think that's really, really cool. Coaching is going great. I think I have like somewhere between 30 to 40 clients right now. So, and it's really cool because now we have not only like a large group of clients that we coach online who are outside of our area. So, whether it's like Houston or Houston or like Dallas or, Florida or, in other places. Like I have a couple ladies now in New York that I'm coaching, which is really cool. But now we have a good mix of like local guys at our gym or like local dudes in Oxnard, which is really cool because that's been really awesome to see like the transformation, not only nutritional wise, but like just seeing them change has been amazing. So that's hats off to Chad as well, because we do the coaching along with him. It's his business and we just do the coaching. So it's really cool to see that grow. And then the gym. So we're really excited because we signed a lease for a new location. So we will be, because I probably won't post this podcast for maybe like a day or two.
Yeah.
So we announced it last week at our 4-year anniversary that we just had. The 4-year anniversary was fucking popping.
That's an understatement.
It was dope. It was really cool. Like it was definitely like double, triple the size of what it was last year. So now we have that. We had the 4-year anniversary. While we were taking the drone shot, we announced that we signed a lease for a new location, which is more central to Oxnard instead of in Hueneme. Just because of where we're at in Hueneme, it's a beautiful location. But it's kind of on the outskirts of the actual general population of like most of our members.
Yeah.
So it is literally 3.5, almost 4 times the size of our current location. Yeah. There is a lot of things that we have planned for it, things that we'll be doing once we're in there, things that we have planned in terms of equipment and experience, wise for members. We don't want to put out exactly what we're saying yet, just because it changes at any given moment. And, we haven't even thought through some of the ideas in our head yet. So we're rocking and rolling with that. We're vlogging the whole process. We'll be editing and uploading vlogs on the same YouTube channel as this, on Following the Figs on Instagram. On YouTube. Yeah. So, I think last time when we stopped the podcast, I think we had like 100 less members than what we had now.
Yeah.
So the membership base is growing at the gym, which is like really, really cool to see some amazing people. Business is rocking and rolling.
It's going. I don't even know what to say. It's just been like a whirlwind of just so much growth lately that, it's been cool, but at the same time, it's a lot to take in because it's like all so new that it's like, okay, like it's a lot of pivoting movements where it's like, okay, now we're going to do this, and now let's pivot into this, And, that's the key thing about having, or I don't want to say like an entrepreneurial mindset, because that's, I don't want to say it like that.
Kind of played out.
It's basically like, what is it called when you have to be very, like adaptable? No, what is it? Like,
you adapt very well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that you're able to adapt and adjust when needed, and just take things for what it is. And then when the hiccups come, it's not like getting frustrated. Like, to the most part, you just have to keep going. Yeah,
definitely. And we'll talk about that in our next couple of podcasts about like some of the things we learned during the house rewire, or the house process, and patience and opportunities that come and go and things like that. So. We just want to give you guys an update on like where the fuck we've been, what's been happening. There just literally was, got to a point when we got into the house and it was like, you guys literally can't film, like, cause we were putting the house at, risk.
Yeah.
If we have all of our, cause what you guys see is this, and there's a camera that's plugged in. Our computer's plugged in. We have actually multiple lights plugged in behind this scenario, or behind the camera. So we have a bunch of lights that are plugged in. Our fan's going because it gets hot in here when you start talking, things like that. So, and we have all of our mics plugged in, and so there's a lot of energy that doesn't even account for the rest of the house that's plugged in. So. But now we're back and at it. We should be rocking and rolling, doing podcasts every week. We're really excited to get this rocking and rolling for you guys. And we've had a bunch of you guys hit us up and ask us about the podcast. We have members, we have friends and people who tell us they still go back and listen to the 7 episodes that we dropped. So thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for always being real with us. And we look forward to like kind of just talking about our experiences and getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah. I got nothing else to say.
Cool.
I guess that's it.
That's figuring it out. This is going to be, I think, episode 8 or 9. Don't quote me. I'm going to have it posted. But basically, this is just a re-intro to kind of where we're at on things. And we will we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Peace.